Good morning and happy Thanksgiving 2022. Hand today's 8-7 of spades. We are in the hijack. We're short-handed actually, 7-handed. So third to act, hijacked. Folds us, I raise. I'm going to go with this range. This is my hijack raise first in range. It's probably not 100% correct here. Probably might be a little too wide. I know we have to adjust for number of players at the table. So, shorter tables tend to favor higher cards, so less likely to play the lower cards and focus more on the big cards. But we're going to go with this. And it folds to small blind who calls. Small blind's playing 50% of hands right now. He's got 45 hands total. Kind of suggests he's going to have a wide range. And then you look at the small blind. He's played 80%, 4 out of 5 from the small blind, 4 out of 5 from the big blind. He raised from the small blind, raised first in, twice. Pre-flop, he's called 1 out of 2 from the small blind. He's called 75% from the big blind. It looks like this guy's probably there to play. If the hands look good, he's probably going to call. We have no information on 3 bets. He's only been in that spot 13 times to make a 3-bet, so I'm going to assume 3 bets queen plus ace king, and then the rest of the hands all look like they could be calling hands. They all look like there's some sort of value. We might get rid of those smaller ones and add maybe your bigger offsuits. Or we just say heck with it and leave it as is. Oops. We had those. So I think we're just gonna go with this range and just keep it going. All right, so see a flop of ace jack 6, ace spades, jack diamond, 6 of hearts. He checks us. He does donk 33% of the time. Maybe this is a board where he could donk if he's like ace X, ace little. It's definitely a possibility. So, with the top pair hands, maybe we could X out like the ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, maybe ace 7, ace 8, ace 9, leave like ace 10, ace queen. Actually, ace 9 might be one that's like a check call. And you do that for both suited and unsuited. I don't think we have any notes on donk bet, so I think we're gonna leave it as is, and that could be a donk with like a multi-way pot. So it's on us. And what are we gonna do? He has a big range. We have somewhat of a big range too. We've gotten that advantage. In terms of draws, we've got like some straight draws, but we don't really have, flush draws. We got backdoors. That's about it. So like we do have a backdoor flush draw. So if we just do gut shots plus gut shots, which is basically all the draw we have, we're at 16%. That means we're only betting for value about 8%. That would bring us up to like 24% C bet stat. It seems a little low, but at the same time, I don't think this is a spot where we're going to be C betting 100%. I don't think there's a big enough gap between our range and his range to justify just C betting everything. So I think if we go like top pair plus, 29, so that's 30, and then we need another 60. That brings us up to 90. So the question is like, what hands don't we C bet? Kind of feel like maybe these middle ones we don't C bet. I think we C bet those. We C bet these. These are a little bit for a little bit of value, a little bit of bluff, kind of in the middle. So I think we'll leave them as is. So that brings that down to 19%, so 20. So now we need 40% bluff. That gets us to 60% C bet. That's probably better. I think we could probably somewhat check with our ace jacks. So if we do 50% checks, 50% bet, maybe. That brings us down a little bit more, and then we're going to have to look at like 2-card backdoor flush draws and see what could develop. I think we're probably going to be bluffing these bottom pocket pairs. I think that's going to be one that we could bet, and maybe even the bottom pair. I mean, if we get called, we get called. We do have a little bit of chance to improve to 2-pair, but I mean, they're pretty low. I think the check call hands make more sense to do it with like these middle pairs, because I think we could check here, check behind, and then call a turn bet. Whereas I think I'd rather just bet these, and if they fold, they fold. Like we could give up a free card for with these a little bit easier, because if it comes like a 2 or a 3 or a 4 and he catches, hey, that's okay. We can beat those hands. Whereas here, if we've got 2s or 3s and a 4 or 5 comes and he actually has like ace 5 or king 5 or something like that, they just now beat us. So I think that's a rationale behind checking these but betting these weaker ones. We still need some hands to bet here, so possibly like the backdoor flush draws, like the king queen, queen 10, king 10, jack 10, maybe like all of the kings. These are questionable. Maybe like that. And 8-7's kind of questionable here. I mean, we're at about 2-1 right here, so that's probably about right in terms of our bets. So we're at 60%, about 60% C bet. So I think that's probably what we're looking at. Here I checked. So let's go ahead and kind of set up our check range and kind of analyze from that. We're going to X, X, X. We're going to call with those. We're going to X that. We're going to X the gut shot. And then we're going to X these out. There we go. All right, so now when we add the no-made hand, we've got the rest. We should be higher. So we should be at like 59. It is what it is. Yeah, so we should be at like 40. We're short. I'm not sure what we missed, but I think we're gonna go with that. So our hand, we still have some hands. We still have like ace X in our range as well. So I mean, it's still playable. So now villain checks again. Once we check it and it goes check check, I kind of think that he would have bet sets, and I think he would have bet 2-pair, and he probably would have bet his better like top pair hand. Ace 10s are maybe like, let's say 50% here, and same thing with like ace 9. I think we'll give him the rest of his hands here, so like 91%. So we do get rid of some hands. Kind of maybe more of these. Maybe he would bet all of his aces. I mean, he does have 50-25. C bet's not super good, but if he's betting wide range, he's not going to have a high C betting. We'll leave this as is. All right, so that's his range. Comes to us, and I ended up checking. So we just picked up an open ender. Oops. We gotta add this 9 of diamonds. There we go. 9 of diamonds. Okay, so let's go back to here. Sets in 2 pairs. Yeah, at this point, I kind of think our aces are going to be betting. We'll leave like the ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5. in his range. Do we leave the flush draws and the open enders? Would he bet or not? He'd probably bet the gut shot, or he'd probably bet the flush draw, maybe. Maybe not. Let's just do this. Let's set that up to like 50%. Sometimes he would bet it, sometimes he doesn't. And same thing with the open ender. Say 50% he bets, 50% he doesn't. So we're at that. So we've narrowed his range, and now it's on us, and we check behind now. We have an open ender. We could have improved, so I kind of think that we are making a mistake here by not betting at some point. Let's work on our bets. So if we bet sets and top pair, and we bet, yeah, top pair plus, that's 23%. We'll need 23%. Well, hold on. Got those. 12%. That's better. We're at like, yeah, so 16%. Some of those are going to be flushes. Yeah, some of those are going to be flush draws. So 15%, we're looking at like 30% total. Yeah, so if we do that, we're at 27.7%, and that's probably what our betting range is. And you could see that 8-7 should be in there. I kind of feel like I made a mistake by not betting this. I really do. So I think what we'll do is this, is just block these out. And say that I don't have that hand. And then the 5 of spades get there. So I do make the straight. And that's, I think, this was a great spot. When it goes check, check, question is, what do I check? Also behind. I think we've got some of the ace-x hands, so we've got some of those value hands in there. We have potential for 9s. We have potential for 10-8. Potential for 10-queen maybe. Jack-9. We have a jack. I mean, geez, jack, king jack, queen jack could have been a check on the flop and then a bet on the turn. So we have some value hands, and I think with those hands we can easily balance it with our open ender, with the diamond draws. It would have improved. We don't have a whole lot because we were going to use some of our backdoor flush draws and some of our backdoor straight draws, at least our Broadway hands, as a bet to balance our c-bet, our flop c-bet. So at this point, we missed it. So he bets 3.5. Yeah, it's possible he has a straight that he bets this. Sets, 2 pair, top pair. He could be bluffing too. Could be a middle pair hand that he's betting the jack now. Maybe the weak pair. Would it be all of the weak pairs? We could give him the 9s. That kind of makes some sense. That he picks up a pair and then just checks it on the turn. Yeah, maybe just that. Let's do that. Maybe he bets that. And then for us, we should be raising this. With our straight, we should be raising it. And of course, we don't have those hands. But I think in this spot, we're going to have to call. Let's get that. I think we're going to have to call the pocket pair less than the top card. And we're probably going to have to call the middle pair. And possibly even the 10s. The weak pairs, I think, are probably going to be split. At least on this range. At least on that range. So here with 8-7, we should be raising this. We just hit our straight. We should be raising. We should be raising this. So this is 3.5. We should be raising this up to maybe 10 or 11. 3x. We're targeting We're targeting these better hands. It picks up the set, 2 pair, top pair. Definitely, we're willing to get it all in at this point. I think we're also going to get called by any of the top pair, and probably the middle pair too. The jacks would probably call that. So we should raise. So I did raise it up to 17, which again, it's bigger than what I initially thought. I was thinking, 3x. And he calls, and that kind of makes me think that we're looking at in this range here, middle pair plus. So he shows King Jack, which is that middle pair, the Jack hand. So that's pretty good, pretty good. We kind of worked out the range the way we did. Not too surprised that he didn't bet the turn. That's why we left the jacks. I think tendencies is you check your top pair, and then if you have a top pair, you bet the turn if it's checked through. But on the second pair, you normally check and then check again. At least that's what I see. So so we're gonna call. Check, check. Okay, so you bet 50% and call. I guess at that point he bet it was pot was 10.5, so it'd be 13.5. So I guess I raised the pot. So call 100%. Let's see, 100% on an ace of spades, jack of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 9 of diamonds, 5 of spades. All right, so we've got that. Let's check GTO. I kept this range, his big range in there. I kept my big range. I did key in a check, so it's on us for the flop. And what did we do? So we had 8-7, and it looks like we will tend to bet here. We're right, top pair. Not all of our top pairs are going to be bets. I kind of had the middle ones as being our checks here. GTO's having those weaker ones. So offsuits, ace 10 are checking, and then ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5 are checking. I'm going to guess a lot of this is because of the potential backdoor straight involving these hands. So 9, 10, maybe those are blocking, kind of blocking some of the straight draws. Whereas ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5 doesn't really do that. So I was off on that top pair. Weak pairs, yeah, we're betting those weaker pairs. Just kind of what I expected, and this, not only small pocket pairs but the sixes as well. Is the idea if we bet there and he raises, we can easily just fold those hands. We are betting their gut shots 100%, and then our two card backdoor flush draws. We're not betting all of them. We're not betting all of them. So like our ace X's, we're not betting all of those. Well, that's top pair. Let's do the king. So like the king 9, king 8, king 7s, we're not doing those. It looks like we're favoring. No, it's still somewhat in the middle. So let's say your overall, so 50%. So I think I was at 60%. 50% is a little bit lower, but we're kind of on the right track. We're not betting anywhere close to, the 66%, 2/3, or 70%. We're not up there. I do want to note that if we are betting, we're betting larger. We're betting 66%. That's surprising. I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have been betting at the smaller size. And I don't really have an answer as to why we have the larger size bet. It's only like 1% here. So we do have some checks with the 8-7, so that's okay. But I kind of think we probably could have done better by checking this. So let's see. Oh no. It just crashed. Just crashed on us. Alright, so I'm going to get this set up again. I'm going to narrow it down using the ranges. I think I'm happy with the ranges that we worked out. So we're going to get this set up again. Ace of spades, jack of diamonds, six of hearts. And I think our flop bet was 7. And our effective stack was 117. We're going to do 50%. 50%. Build our tree. Import tree. Give him a check on that. And then for this, we're going to change this to 66% since that was the favored. And that's going to help speed things up a bit here. All right, so we're going to accept the changes. We will run this and we will be back. All right, we're back. And during that time, I was thinking about it. I think we're going larger just because of the range versus range. We've got an advantage. He's got a wider range. I think he's going to have a lot of hands that are going to call. Hands that would have called 33% and 66% bets. So because of that, probably go larger to get higher EV that way. And I think that's probably the reason why. And of course, it's going to go larger because of the higher EV. That's how the GTO is going to work. But like rationalizing it, like in real time and thinking about, why would we go larger? I think that's the reason. Bigger range, there's going to be a lot more calls. It's probably going to be indifferent on the sizing on those calls, so might as well just go for the larger size at that point. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and check. 9 of diamonds comes out, and he checks. So I kind of expected like the ace X hands are probably going to be betting here, definitely along with the diamonds. You're not going to bet all of them, but I think GTO is withholding some of those probably for a check raise. So he checks, so now it's on us. 8-7's a bet, so definitely we should be betting this. Kind of top pair plus we're betting. We're throwing in some middle pairs as bets. These are hands that can't really improve much for the draws. Backdoor draws or anything like that. But yeah, open ender. I think this is where I missed my hand. I should have bet this. And if he raises it, and I think that was a concern. If I bet and he raises it, what do I do with the 8-7? Well, GTO is going to say call. And I think that's appropriate. So let's say we did call, and then the 5 of spades comes out. If he bets, again, that's just great. We're gonna shove. But if he checks, what do we do with it? We're still gonna bet. What if it doesn't come a 5? Let's say a 4 of spades. If he bets, 8-7 is gonna obviously be a fold, but we're getting 2 pair, top pair. So we would bet that. So really only 3 of a kind. And we're gonna balance it with our. We bet, right? He raises. And then we're coming back over the top with 3 of a kind. With 3 of a kind, and then maybe king 9 and king 6 just to balance. Yeah, so we're not raising with 2 pair, top pair. So that allows us then, since we have those, to be able to raise. We bets. We're not going to raise a 2 pair. We're going to keep 2 pair because, yeah, I guess if he makes that raise, we're going to think trips or 2 pair, and we beat 2 pair. But if he checks, then now we attack with our 2 pair hand and our sets. And of course, we'll have our straight there too. Yeah, so I think overall, I think I was right. I missed that bet here. We picked it up. Could have easily have bet. If he folds, he folds. That's great. In this case, he's not going to. He's got king jack. I think it's inappropriate for him to raise. I mean, he could, but if he raises, we just call. Yeah, if he raises, we just call, and we catch our straight, and if he bets, we raise again. So messed up this hand. I won it, but I messed it up. So still good to review these. Hopefully you enjoy this hand. We're going to get this posted up. Enjoy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. And look, tomorrow I plan to get another hand up first thing in the morning.